What's going on, guys? This is an update video on Matic. I've been loving this thing. I got in here around this 83 cent this first run, had this beautiful breakout, and ended up selling it up in this $2 range here. But I didn't get this extra 60 cents, which would have been nice. But I got a little, warning shot right before this dip here, and it ended up dipping and ripping. But I was okay with it. Obviously, I closed out and I just waited impatiently for my next move. And I recently made that video. I was talking about how I had buy orders down this 74 cents, and I was mad at myself because I closed them. But I actually, when I went back on, I realized I didn't close them, and I was so thankful. And I got filled right there. And then I ended up adding to my position as we broke. I ended up adding to my position as we broke out of this. It looked like a little rising channel or a bull flag of some sort, but once we broke this thing, I definitely decided to add somewhere up in here. And ultimately I took all of my profits, but I think I took some profits somewhere in this range here, and then I ended up re-entering here, and then I rode, maybe I re-entered here, I can't remember. I think either I ended up re-entering on this consolidation or I re-entered here. But either way, I ended up riding it up to 226. And I was posting all this in my trading view. If you guys follow me there, feel free to hit the like button. Let me know in the comments section below. It really helps with the algorithm getting my videos out here. So I've been keeping up with this thing as much as possible, and I'm sure I annoy some people, but hey, hopefully you guys like it instead, because I like posting as much as possible, but I'm always coming up with ideas and stuff. And we've been pretty accurate too, so can't complain. But kind of what I'm seeing right now is kind of in a smaller version of something that BCH was in. Now, it was the whole trend that was in this rising wedge, a rising channel, but I've seen this happen, and right now it looks like I was really trying to decipher if this choppy was going to be some type of flag or not, but there was so much indecision that I just really didn't see much happening. So we called this dump here. I was expecting it to come down to this 177, 176. And we ended up stopping out somewhere right around here, which makes sense because there was a couple wicks here. But we hit about 184, and then we ripped back up here. We back tested this pennant here, and then we got another rejection here. The overall breakdown of this pattern for me was 178. So, if we are going to hit that, that's one thing. But I'm kind of looking at this now as potentially as a rising channel. And right now we just broke this and we're back testing it right now as resistance. We got an hourly close below and we're kind of just trending on here. So I'm kind of watching to see. Looking at the RSI, you can see we just kind of been trending down here on the hourly, getting bounces but then just getting rejected. And, I really wanted to look at this as a bullish thing going on here. And I'm not too sure if it is. It's very, very, very tricky right now in this kind of chop. Like, you can't go long, you can't go short. It's like really, really crazy. Whether this is trying to double bottom here and then rip, I don't know. But personally, I'm leaning more bearish right now. But that obviously can change at any given time. We don't really have any MACD crossing coming in here. The 45 minutes starting to roll up a little bit. So, if we got some kind of bullish case here, we could pop back up above this 210, reclaim that. But ultimately, we want to see it reclaim this 225 to 228 level. And you can see this upper resistance here is right around 226. But, the longest or the best possibility here would be us trending here and finding support. Very big long position there we could put in. I would probably play it if we were to consolidate here, start getting some hourly closes and maybe looking like a little more bullish than we are right now. But as far as the downside is concerned, originally I was looking for this 177. We could hit that and bounce and retest this again. But, now, even though I was talking about this area, then I was thinking about this potential 152 area here as another potential bounce point, which would make sense. But ultimately, this breakdown target here is bringing us almost perfectly to this 132. So I recently changed my ideas again. It's going to happen a lot. I don't have exact ways to tell you exactly where it's going. I'm just trying to look at what I can find in the charts and see. But in my opinion, it's a little more bearish number one, we didn't make a new high here, and number two, if we looked at the daily here, we can see that it looks like a potential double top here, and we just are printing a spinning top here outside of this potential um, level of support. So it's kind of a warning shot right there for me that this could be rolling over. Now, how low we could go is really tricky because we could come down to this 133 and get a monster bounce again, or we could end up wicking all the way back down here or lower if it ends up being some type of double top or something, and it would be a pretty damn mean correction here that could bring us pretty low. So I'm not trying to get too insanely bearish or too insanely bullish. You can see this RSI is rolling over now, so whether or not we have to double bottom here or not, I'm not too sure, but I'm definitely leaning more towards the bearish side, as I've been stating. So if we get this breakdown here, we have to look and see if we can find any type of support. Now, it is moving very slow. The bulls are really trying to hold on tight, but as we slowly lose these areas here, you can zoom in and see that, first thing was we tried to maintain this 220 as support. We never really been able to do. We had this big large wick with this flat top here. We lost that control. We dipped all the way down, bought back up, tried to maintain this area in between here, tried to buy back up, but we couldn't actually close the next candle above that, and it ended up failing again. Now we have a rejection candle at this 220. Then we ended up closing below this 210 area recently, and now look at this recent candle that we're getting to close on this 4 hour pretty soon. Another rejection at our next resistance. So it's probably going to just continue to do that as we fall down here. So we'll have to see what happens when we reach this 177 area here. But like I said, I have a downside target at this point of $1.33.8, $1.34, and my support box ultimately right here at $1.33. So it's really hard to say what this is going to do. If we look at what I just recently added in here, this big green thick line, is what if this whole thing was a descending triangle of some sort, which is a bearish pattern, but can break bullish here, depending on if we were to drop back down double bottom, depending on if that ends up being at this 133, or if it comes all the way back down to this 83 or 74 again, before ultimately ripping out of there. And if we were to do something like that, we would have like an upside target somewhere around 350, 360, which would be insanely bullish here. And I don't think Matic is like trying to go into a crazy downtrend or anything, but one thing we do have to keep in mind here is look at the weekly. The weekly's rolling over here, and we do have this double top, and we don't really have bearish divergence, but we are really overbought here, and that's up in the 97 overextended area here. So if this does roll and has to make some kind of double bottom here, we could be looking at a very low price, even as low as this 45-cent area here, but that's going to take some time to play out. On the daily here, we managed to get up here and get rejected. It's rolling over now, so we're really going to have to watch and see where that RSI is, because it seems to like to bounce down in this 46 area. Right now we're up at the 63, so so we do have some potential ways to come down still. But I don't think things are going to go right down real low. Right down to nothing or anything like that. But one thing to keep in mind is this RSI here. You can see where we're at right now. Kind of looks like a little small head and shoulders pattern here on the RSI. We could be coming down to this range again before running. So I would definitely be watching this RSI and see where we're at. Now, just because the RSI comes down into this range doesn't mean it has to be back at 74. This range right here could be $1.33. This range here could be $1.51. But I don't think it's going to be $1.77 by the time we get there, seeing how slow it's moving. $1.77 maybe right there, and then maybe that $1.33 would be there. I don't know. That's my guesstimate as of right now. So I just wanted to put my ideas out here, what I'm thinking. But if that's the case, right now technically, right here, this consolidation is right at this upper trend line that we seem like we're building, which means that's upper resistance. And where lower support right now is roughly between the 74 84 and this 83. So we'd have to see if that's something that we're going to do here. And we do end up coming back down here to this level before maybe ripping to new highs. So I do want to keep all of this in mind here, that right now, buying in this zone, we are pressing our heads against this resistance here, and we are starting to look like we're going to roll back down. So we're going to have to see how this plays out here. But these are all my ideas, and I know this chart from outside view here looks a little freaky, but all of these support lines are lines that I've had drawn in here, and they all have been working out very, very well. So this is just kind of where I'm at, and it's very complicated to chart this right now, just because it's just chop, 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 nothing really showing here. But now we can see we're getting somewhat of this big M here, and this final breakdown, if this trend line's correct, which to me it seems pretty accurate, but we will have to see. I mean, only time will tell here, but that's kind of what I'm watching for, and I just want to put you guys in the loop. So anyway, if you guys enjoy this video, subscribe to my channel. I'll try to put some more out, but I'm definitely more active on TradingView right now. And with that being said, have a great night. Peace.